Omen has one of the best ultimates in Valorant, and I'm tired of pretending that he doesn't. And if you don't believe me, well, I have 10 different rounds here that I'm going to take you through and show you and prove to you why Omen's ult is one of the best in the game. So when people think Omen's ult, they think to themselves like, oh, I can teleport to the enemy spawn and get like a nasty, you know, flank off, or I could backstab the enemy. But a lot of smart players, will be like, well, why would you want to send your smokes into the enemy spawn so they can at best get one or get traded, right? Well, what people don't understand is that Omen's ult is a lot more versatile than just being able to teleport into the enemy spawn. He can interact with certain parts of certain maps. He can pick up the spike. He can pick up weapons. He can create a lot of fake pressure. Omen's ult requires a high level of IQ, and in each of these rounds, you're going to see it used in many different ways. And even teleporting into spawn is like a good idea. There are certain spots that are better than others, and if planned around correctly, you can absolutely dominate rounds with your team. So, we're going to be looking at a match between AG and Team Heretics, and as you can see, Team Heretics are getting ready to go A. Now, you need to look closely at the minimap, because if you look away for 1 second, you're going to miss how cool this Omen ult is. So, I'm going to go ahead and play the round. You're going to see that when the round starts, you're going to see a Phoenix Molly, you're going to see the Omen Paranoia, you're going to see the Silver Recon, and if you look closely at the minimap, you'll see that Omen's already in sight. He has teleported onto the left side of door, and he has already closed it for his team. So normally when going A, your team wants to throw a smoke into, obviously into door, so anybody standing in this area can pepper your team as they're coming in and form a crossfire with anybody on site. But by Omen ulting this instantly, he can basically save a smoke so that during the post plant, he can cycle them a lot better and have a stronger post plant with his team. So, Team Heretics close the door, they feel safe to run into sight, and as you can see, the entire defense are shut out. Chamber can't break through the door in time and contest the offense. Woot only has to worry about Heaven. He doesn't have to worry about anybody running through the door, flashing, right, trying to make a play. He can solely focus on Heaven and get two quick insta-kills for his team. Now, AG are here. They're trying to flood on out. And like I said, door is still closed. I mean, AG probably should have broken it, but this Omen ult is one that I've never seen done. And because Omen can interact with the map and pick up weapons and pick up the spike, while in this shadow form that he's in, it allows him to create plays that really no other agent can create. So, as you can see, Shrimp's trying to win this 2 versus 1. He pulls out the drone. He's trying to isolate his ones. But with an Odin, it's kind of hard. I feel like he kind of has to pick up a rifle, so he's more mobile, more agile. But as you can see, he gets mowed down, and AG end up losing this round. And now the funny thing is that wasn't the first time Heretics did something like this in this game. It just didn't work as well in this scenario, which is why I wanted to show you the other first. But as you can see, Heretics are getting ready to slam B, and the only one here for the defense is Chamber. And watch the Omen closely on the minimap, because you're going to see him ult almost instantly on the boathouse. First, obviously, he needs to smoke spawn, because the door only, shuts off market, doesn't close off spawn, obviously. But we see a cam in the window, we see a dart, and because Omen's able to clear so much with his ult so quickly, right, he clears all of boathouse, he clears logs, he kind of clears like the market walkout. His team is basically able to just W key into this part of the map, and because Chamber teleported offsite so quickly, you're going to see that because we cleared out so much of B so fast, Woot's going to be able to push into spawn and make a play before the defense are even remotely close to, being set up. So, the defense are rotating over. Koshmaris hits an insane shot on Chamber. Woot, unfortunately, whiffs, but you can't deny that the speed in which Omen, cleared up Boathouse, it was so fast that his teammates were able to make a play off of it, right? But 3 versus 3 retake, this duel in B main was probably everything. And now it becomes a rough 2 versus 2 to win. Phoenix ult, burns a lot of time. The spike's ticking faster and faster, and the defense, they need to get a move on. Eventually, they decide to play exits. Doesn't really matter. Team Heretics win this round, and Omen ult's really cool. And now, I know you guys didn't click on this video wanting to see Omen flip some sissy switches. You wanted to see some aggressive Omen teleport plays, and that's what you're about to see. I'm taking us to a new game, Karma Corp versus Vitality. Vitality are getting ready to slam A, and the thing about Omen's ult is that it is very, very good at punishing defensive teams that like to get aggressive. And one of the most popular places teams like to get aggressive in is a lobby. So, if you recognize that the defense are fighting up like this, this is like one of the most primo times to teleport into enemy lines and basically sandwich the defense. And that's what you're going to see the offense do here. So, Round's going to start, focusing on Omen, and one moment he's by window, the next he's in heaven. And look at the defense. They're looking back at Omen. They're wasting a recon dart on him, right? They're so focused on Omen that they're not even able to, like, play in their setup properly. And Omen is still up here, keep in mind. So you can see he jumps out of heaven, Dosh, gets the kill, and you can see how well, Sayonara does a great job of running into the smoke and getting the trade. And makes this a 2 versus 2. But you can see how fast that, because Omen decided to, spawn basically into heaven, he was able to basically open up the entire site for his team, and his team was able to isolate, find the trades where need be, because Omen created so much pressure in heaven. Sayonara did great here. Again, just wanted to show you that when a team is getting aggressive, you can punish them by teleporting behind them and sandwiching them with your team, And in these situations, you don't really need smokes, because if the defense are in these positions, odds are that their teammates are playing more passive across the map, and it's going to take them a while to get to these spots, right? So the smokes aren't really the important part, because you kind of are the smoke. You kind of are protecting your team from spawn. All right, and then as you see, Yampi and Durka hit some clean headshots to close out the round, and we see another Primo Omen ult. And now the main map where you see teams fight up is on Lotus. You know that the defense loves to fight for rubble control, likes to fight for mountain control. You know that the defense are going to be fighting for something on this map, and if they don't, you basically can just do whatever you want and run them over. But because the defense are known for being aggressive on this map, this is where you'll see a lot of aggressive Omen TPs, and that's what you're going to see here. Energy or slamming C, and you can even see during the buy phase, Kiko's already telling his team where he's going to go. If the defense are fighting up, this is where I'm going to go. Get ready to sandwich these guys with me. Get ready to sandwich these clowns with me. So, round's going to start. We see a cam, we see a Vice Flash, right? The Prowler goes out, we see the Paranoia. This is obviously the biggest sign to Omen teleport, and as you can see, guess who's in elbow? Guess who's in elbow already? And you could see that the defense want to fight for Mount together, right? They want to fight for this map control together. Well, because Kiko has teleported into the defense's backlines, you see Vice has separated from Arrays, creating a 1 versus 4 on Mound and a 1v1 on site. And if Kiko can just stay alive long enough, he can secure this round for his team. Notice how he doesn't overcommit to these fights, right? He jiggle peeks out a little bit, throws out a flash, doesn't like hard commit to Divide, only until his teammates are close to the choke and ready to trade him. So 4 versus 2 in favor of NRG. Something gets mowed down, 4 versus 1. Envy shares the same fate. And now another cool thing about Omen's teleports is that it allows you to get into positions that enhances your other abilities, mainly his Paranoia. So in a lot of maps in this game, you'll see Omens like teleport across choke points so they can have a better Paranoia. The first example that comes to the top of my mind is Breeze B main. Omens on attack will teleport across the choke so they have a better flash up the left side of sight. Obviously, if you played Breeze, you know what I'm talking about, but you're going to see sort of a similar thing here. G2, Nongshin, G2 are going to split B in a way you've never seen before and use Omen's ult to set up an awesome Omen Paranoia. So I'll go ahead and start the round. G2 are going to take mid. We see a Sky Flash. We see the attack basically set up to burst through basically top mid. So we see a smoke on the right side. Neon throws up her wall. She's going to run into a trip. But look at Omen. Look at Omen. He's teleported into the enemy spawn. Obviously, the defense aren't going to be playing back here because, you want to, defend A main. You want to defend mid. You're not going to find somebody in this position. But as you can see, Jogamo has made it into top mid. He throws his stun for the left side. And because Valen's in this corner, just look at the Paranoia he's able to set up. Look, he gets into this corner, knows somebody's going to be holding here, and he blinds Cypher. Now, unfortunately, Jogamo can't get that kill. But had he did, this would have made a 3 versus 1 on this stage, and G2 would have absolutely steamrolled this B site, and it would have been an awesome round to show you guys. But unfortunately, it just didn't work that way. It is what it is. Not every plan is going to work out to the best of its ability. But I wanted to show you that this type of creativity is what, the best Omens have a high level of creativity for plays, to make plays like this, because you don't see this very often. You don't see it in ranked. You don't see it out of most pro teams. Most pro teams don't have set strats around their Omen ults. And you can see that this set strat here, it can work in the future. It's really good, and hopefully it does. And G2 have a similar plan here. They're going to split A in a way that you've probably never seen. It's a little weird, so bear with me. The round's going to start. Obviously, the defense are fighting for A main. Pretty standard stuff. We see the one-way, right? But if you look at top mid, we have another Omen ult into spawn. Obviously, the defense aren't going to be playing back here. And even if you condition the defense to play back here and cancel your ult, you're still putting the defense way out of position, and it's going to make their defensive holds a lot weaker. But by Kiko teleporting here, he can basically tell his team if anybody's holding top mid from this right side. Like, from this right side, anybody in this choke, this is like a pretty standard position in which you defend, top mid from. And because he teleports here, he's able to tell his team that the coast is clear. So they run up, neon wall, break trip, and they're going to sage wall in such a way that it protects them from, it protects their butt. But you'll see that these guys realize that they're being crunched. They back off. They probably have to fight one side harder, whether it be A main or top mid. Regardless, that indecisiveness, this quick blitz has overwhelmed the defense, and you'll see that G2 on this lower buy have made this an even 3 versus 3 in a round that they technically should lose with the worst weaponry. And look, now it's a 2 versus 3. You love to see that. Now, I'm going to go on. I could just play out the rest of the round. It's not a big deal. Sage has rotated over. She uses her wall to block off stairs. But obviously, the attackers aren't playing there. You could tell by this smoke. We double swing elbow, get another kill. It's a 1 versus 2. But Jogamo and Trent are 1 HP. This isn't necessarily, guaranteed. X-Ross finds a crazy off angle on top of these boxes, and Jogamo is just ready for it and mows him down. And obviously, G2 wouldn't be in this position if it weren't for their Omen ult play. And now, here we have another example. Team Heretics versus Leviathan, the Masters London winners. They are slamming A, and you guys know that A is notorious for being util dumped, and you're going to see that when the defense util dump Rubble, the offense are going to respond accordingly. So, round's going to start. You're going to see a whole bunch of util. We see the C's, nade, flash, dash across, and you're going to see that because Spikeson sees all this utility and knows that the defense are kind of fighting up, he ults into a spot that is really hard to clear for the defense, because you're either in stairs or you're not. Like, obviously, the more you know, right? But you're either in stairs or you're not, because if nobody's in here to punish this position, it is a really bad, like, it puts the defense in a really big pickle. So you'll see that because Woot couldn't defend off, he couldn't fend off Rubble with just him and his fade. He's had to retreat behind this tall box area, and he hears this Omen will come in. So what does he do? Does he sit here and wait for Omen to swing him and pre-fire him? Or does he try and fight these guys all on his own? It's a really tough decision to make, because the Omen also isn't guaranteed to swing you. He could also just walk into spawn. So he even smokes himself off, right? And then Woot swings, has to swing, dies. But that's not all. That's not all. So smokes himself off, sprays down, they spray down Woot, and you're going to see that the side anchors that are here, right? Bonus Omen ult. Boo is here now. He has ulted over from the C site, which is like another decent use for the Omen ult, and I'd say it is probably the most commonly used type of Omen ult that we see is like the fast rotate. He started around C, instant teleports over to C. He starts C, instant teleports over to A to try and reinforce his A hold. But if you look at Boo on the minimap, you'll see that his teammates are calling out that Omen teleported into our spawn. And while Fade is defending off an entire 4-person, I guess 5-person rush on her own, Omen's looking into heaven trying to find where that Omen went. Omen's from the shadows creates a level of uncertainty that just sends teams for a spiral, because now look, dude, Boo's looking left, he's looking right, he's accepted the fact that nobody's heaven. He swings, gets traded. Perfect Omen ult from Spikeson. Perfect Omen ult. Like, this is a really good spot. And if your team is getting pushed up on Rubble, teleport back into stairs, because obviously it works, and it works really well. 4 versus 2. I can go and play this out, but I'm pretty sure Kashmaris ends up saving. He has an op. Yeah, you see them back down. They end up saving. The Masters London winners tack on another round. And here we have another Heaven teleport play. MIBR versus GE. MIBR are going A. You know how this goes. So the round's going to start. We see the Sovadrome, we see a Waylay double dash, and you can see that the offense have enough information that there's a heavy defensive pressure, a heavy defensive presence on long. So what Mizzina decides to do is teleport into heaven, but the defense are aware of this. Omen hears this teleport, right? Patman I guess Patman actually, he also rotated here quickly. I just noticed that. Patman used his ult to get here quickly. He hears this Omen ult into heaven, and now watch. The defense are going to be looking back at heaven, and not at like the 3-4-person push that is barreling down long and short. So I'll try to show you guys everything that happens here. So the Omen ult goes in. Crystal's left on his own because his teammates have backed off the site, right? Crystal's left on his own because look at Neon, Sova, and Omen are all looking back at spawn, right? Crystal's on his own. Neon turns around. Sova turns around. Guys, have we forgot about our deadlock? Have we forgotten about somebody? I mean, this is also smoked off, so maybe, GE shouldn't be worried about this Omen ult at all until he jumps out, right? He can't really do anything until he flies out of the smoke. But this Omen ult has attracted 3 defenders. It has attracted 3 people to look at this person and not worry about this A fight that GE won. Like, they won this A fight. They got the early kill on Aspas, right? So I'm going to go into play. The kills go down, and everything just gets awkward for the defense. Do we clear Heaven? Do we look at Omen? Do we look at somebody else? Omen, Mazzino flashes out of Heaven. Sova's looking at him. Sova gets insta-traded because he's looking at Heaven. And then Udatan was looking at Heaven. I'll try to play this again for you. So the smoke fades, right? Gets traded, whatever. Whaley teleports away. But look at Neon. She was looking back and forth at, like, Heaven, like the Heaven swing. Right? Looks left. Tex gets a kill, 3 versus 2. Verno gets a kill, 3 versus 1. And it's all because the defense spent half of this round looking up at Heaven when they really, I mean, they probably didn't have to. But Omen ult's scary, dude. It's scary. It creates a lot of pressure. And now, in that same game, you're going to see the offense slam C with another Omen ult. Another great spot, too. Omen ult is backside C so that the rest of your teammates know where to dump their utility, whether it's on platform, backside, like on top of your ult, really on logs. And it's just a really good Omen ult that's hard to punish because the defense have to turn their attention to backside and not this long choke point that your teammates are running through. And you're going to see that here. So the defense are in a weird buy. Last round of the half, they have to force. We see a shock for the trip. We see smokes. You're going to see Whaley updraft with the Blade Storm, or jet updraft with the Blade Storm. We see the Whaley double dash in. But you're going to see that the Bucky has ripped a few shots. And the Bucky is very hard to clear if you don't have a drone or like a movement type duelist to like get through this choke. And as you can see, Aspas and Whaley have already used their movement, and the Bucky is kind of clogging up this lane, right? The Bucky's scary. I get it. Shotguns are scary. They're hard to clear. But because Omen has, used the smokes, Paranoia, Sova ult, or the Sova recon clears out backside, Mazzino feels safe to teleport into this position. And from here, what he's able to do is help his team scale out to the front part of site, right? The drone now has time to come in. It's going to fly over, tag Neon, right? But the Bucky's still scary. Mazzino ends up jumping up on Plat to help his teammates get the kill, make sure nobody dies to the Bucky, and he kills Patman, who is just slow walking through a smoke, not expecting the Omen ult to be back here, right? Because Neon didn't see anybody. Neon didn't see anybody walk through the choke, and there's so much chaos going on that he probably didn't even hear Omen's ult go back here, which is another advantage of Omen's ult. Another perk is that when there's a lot of chaos and confusion going on, it's hard to keep track of where one singular player is teleporting to. Right? It's hard to keep track of when there are so many noises, comms, and confusion going on. Omen's ult is extremely hard to track down. Now we have another Lotus ult, and this is probably one of my favorite types of Omen ults. He's not interacting with a map, he's not crunching with his team. I like to call this the Thanos ult, where you just have to do everything yourself. You'll see here that MIBR are being beat down 6-11, but Verno is like, listen, sometimes I have to be the hero. I have to step up and take charge, right? So his team is going to go A, and you'll see that pretty quickly after he throws the smoke, he just ults in the enemy spawn. Like, he just says, screw it. I'm going to... I'm teleporting into the enemy spawn, and I'm going to make it a bitch to clear. Because, as you can see in the minimap, Vice is looking all over the place. Fade's looking all over the place. So, by Verno doing a play like this, he's essentially dragged two defenders away from the play, and has created a 3 versus 4 for the rest of his team. Right, and you're going to see that clearing out all of your spawn, all of this is hard. And Benji Fishy isn't even ready for Verno to make a play like this, right? Verno completely blindsides Benji Fishy and basically makes B-side pretty free. Only one person was defending it, and it was Raze, who was focused on Secret and me main, and this Vice ult was here. And because Omen and his friends are making so much commotion on B, this also opens up Aspas to get off a crazy lurk play over on Rubble. He kills one person through the door, another person trying to satchel on him, and again, Verno's Omen ult into this part of the map was the MVP. He had the balls to teleport back here, literally just walk into the enemy territory, catch Benji Fishy by surprise, and he has single-handedly won his team the round. Like, yes, Aspas got 2 kills, but I don't think that it would have been possible if Omen wasn't creating so much noise on B all by himself. All with just a 7 ult point ability that I think a lot, and I mean a lot of people look over and don't plan around. So, if you want to see another Omen masterclass like this, check out this video right here. It's in this area. I'm so bad at doing this. It's right here. And if you want to join my watch parties, I watch party basically every single day. Click my links down in the description. I also give out free VOD reviews. So if you want a free VOD review from me, come check me out. Peace.